Hey, so we're going to start talking about using essential oils for a variety of very specific purposes, right? Especially in this emotional needs category. And I think that's why many of you start to come here, is to learn how you can use oils and what will help your dog with a variety of topics. We're going to get there, I promise. For those of you brand new to essential oils who haven't quite figured out how to dilute them, how much you should dilute them, maybe are feeling a little cautious to get started with essential oils, there's a couple of ways for you to go. When I started with a lot of the blended oils, the emotional oils, because I was using them for my dog training business. And then I wound up buying the premium starter kit. And from there got so deep into the single essential oils that I never really found myself down with the animal scents. I had always figured out how to use what I needed from the typical regular products. And I say regular in terms of Young Living is the only group that has an animal scents line. And I was using single oils and making the sort of recipes that I thought that I needed. Long story short, I really wish I had gotten more information, more education about the animal scents line when I started, because it's absolutely fantastic. It is very, very well crafted for some very specific purposes, and it's pre-diluted, right? So you don't really have to add additional carrier solutions to use these oils. You can, and in some cases as we go through this, you'll find where you might want to do that, but it's really not necessary. They are basically pre-designed for use with our animals. And this can be animals of all kinds, including farm animals, horses, cows, pigs, chickens, and so on. Obviously, when we have a cat or a bird, for example, that might be a time that you wanted to add a bit more dilution to it. So if you're getting into those types of animals and you still have questions about their use, let's talk. I mean, that's certainly something that your educator, the person who you signed up under, should be able to help guide you and get some information to you on those topics. But let's start with looking at the animal scents products. So one of the first ones is absolutely amazing, and I never really understood this until this last year. So I've been using essential oils for a long time now, and this one kind of caught me by surprise when I really looked under the hood and figured out what it was. So it's called Tea Away, the letter T Away. And it was designed to help address emotional issues and sort of bringing joy and uplifting spirits for your dog. It is based on the essential oil blend called Trauma Life that I used bottles and bottles and bottles of in my dog training business. This oil Tea Away has not only all of the essential oils that are in Trauma Life, but it has 17 others. So now think about the blending scientifics of what that took to figure out how much of each needed to be in the bottles, right? Or into the combination. It has things like tangerine, lavender, sandalwood, chamomile, frankincense, valerian, ylang ylang, black spruce, geranium divana, orange, rue, helichrysum, hyssop, Spanish sage, patchouli, coriander, blue tansy, bergamot, rose, lemon, jasmine, chamomile, and pomarosa, right? So think about those oils. If you're ever trying to figure out what an essential oil will do for you, look at some of the ingredients and go, yeah, I know what that one's about. And then think about what, the goal is. I love the labeling in that it's intended to help us understand what it's for. But tangerine is going to be part of that top note we talked about, that uplifting spirit, that it feels good, right? Lavender, same kind of thing. Sandalwood being very grounding, very supportive. Chamomile, think about what chamomile is when you want to have a chamomile tea, right? So this is a German chamomile. Frankincense, very spiritual, very supportive, very everything really in that category. Valerian can be said to help create restfulness and almost bring some sedative qualities to it. Ylang Ylang, great for the heart, great for the spirit, and so on. I'm not going to go through each of these. You can do a little research, which makes this a lot of fun. But I will bring up rose. This essential oil has rose in it. Rose is one of the highest frequency oils that exist. Now, we haven't talked about frequency very much, but when we think about wanting to bring the spirit up, right, that getting ourselves out of that, or the dogs, getting out of sort of that state of mind that is not dog, right? You're going to hear me talk about this a lot because we run into a situation where I see dogs that are no longer doing dog things. They're shut down. They might be hanging out with you, but they're not engaged in the ways that I see the happiest and the truly most fulfilled dogs behaving. So I call it all the time. I'm saying, your dog doesn't know how to dog. So I encourage you to start questioning that and looking at the behaviors that they have. A couple of weeks ago, I met a dog that he doesn't make eye contact with anybody, right? He does not make eye contact with anybody, and he's scared of most everything. And nobody knows the real history. He was a stray. Nobody knows the root of these issues. And so he really liked this essential oil. He was kind of drawn to it. And so this is one that we talk about starting to use in such a way that we try to help them move forward, to release whatever the limbic system is holding on to, or the things going on in their little brain that is holding them back and making them feel uncomfortable or unhappy, or signs of anxiousness, or whatever it may be. These kinds of things can help pull these dogs into a better state of mind. You only need a drop or two, right? And what you may do is put a drop or two in the diffuser, let that run 3 or 4 times a day, or 3 or 4 times overnight while they're sleeping. You might take 1 ounce spray bottle and put a couple of drops in the spray bottle and spritz their bedding or spritz down their back, and start to apply it, on a larger area. You can take a single drop and put right on the back of their neck, or maybe right on the top of their head. You can put a drop or two on you and pet the dog. There's a boatload of ways to start to use these essential oils. So TOA, absolutely fantastic. If you've got a dog that is uncomfortable for whatever reason, even the unknown reasons, this can be one of those essential oils that starts to move them forward. Okay, so I'm going to close this video. I keep trying to make them shorter and I get long-winded. So we'll come back and talk about the next one.